Hi everyone, in this video I would like to give you a more real-world example of why template literals are useful. In the previous video I showed you how you can create an HTML element, but I feel like it was kind of silly, right? Like H2 Mark Oliver, and then this is an important issue. It was just to show you that you can write multi-line strings, you can create multi-line strings with template literals. Now in this lecture, this is actually a dedicated lecture for creating multi-line strings with template literals. And in this one, I would like to give you like a little bit more of an advanced example, and I'm going to append it to the document, to the HTML document as well. Now, let's get started with this lecture. We already know what template strings are, so I'm just not going to talk about that. I'm going to create an object, and that is going to be course details. Yes, it's again another course example. And within here we have, because I have more than one course. This is another course of mine, which I recently, it wasn't recently, it was like 2 months ago, but it is fresh, believe me. This is called CSS Layouts Masterclass. It has been, this is actually the first course of mine that within the first month, it got into Udemy for Business. So that's a really, really high achievement for me. And let us create the next key. It's going to be author, Muslim Hilali. Then we have the duration for the course. Duration is going to be 50 hours. And the badge that this course currently has is highest rated. In the future, it might not have this badge, but currently at the time of recording this, it has this badge. And let's talk a little bit about the features of this course, and I'm going to create that within the object course features. And this is not going to be an object. Sorry, this is going to be an array. And I'm not going to type them. I'm just going to copy paste them because they're long. Learn how to create responsive websites. Within this masterclass, a little bit of a side note, I show you how you can create CSS layouts. Finally, you're going to get over that frustration that CSS has intrinsically. And you're going to get over it. You're going to learn CSS and you're going to get to love CSS. I'm going to show you how you can create responsive websites. I'm going to show you how you can create something called an adaptive website, which is rarely discussed online. I'm also going to teach you how you can create mobile-first designs, which is actually a real-world skill, and how to create desktop-first designs. And the Flexbox and Grid sections, they do have exercises. They have whiteboarding sessions where I actually use a whiteboard to explain to you how Flex works and Grid works under the hood. And I'm also going to show you how you can create a more modern SaaS workflow. Very, very real world oriented masterclass, and that's why I got into UFB. I'm really happy about that. So what is it that I would like to do? I would like to go ahead and I would like to add, create an HTML element or a series of elements that would contain all of this info in an organized manner, and they would show it on the web page. That's exactly what I would like to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create another variable that is going to be online course. Remember, this is course details. And in here, I'm going to use backticks, and this is where the magic happens. I'm going to have an H1. So the H1 is going to contain the title of the course. Creating these, like typing them manually, is very difficult, since when you type it with Emet, these HTML elements, they autocomplete, and that's very easy, and it is taking a little bit of time here. Now, there is something else that you need to know about these, what you can do with this curly braces, with the within this curly braces. Within this curly braces, you can implement any kind of JavaScript expression. You can invoke a function, you can create an if statement, you can create a loop, you can do whatever you want. But keep in mind, you can do one expression. Keep that in mind. So I'm going to jump into the course details, which is an object, and using the dot notation, I'm going to grab the name of the course. And that I would like to put right here. This is going to be the H1. Keep that in mind. I am a firm believer of HTML5 semantics, and actually I try to use very, very little divs in my entire code. I try to stay, you can't get away from divs. They're such an intrinsic part of this entire web development, HTML, CSS, but I try to get away from it. That's why if you are a student in my courses, you know that I use semantic elements most often. H1, let's create a UL element. And within the UL element, I'm going to grab the author, the duration, as well as the badge of the course. So I'm going to create an li element. Come on, buddy. I can do better. Within the li, I'm going to say author, A-U-T-H-O-R. Let's grab the author. So I'm going to jump into the course details dot author. This is the author. Let's close the li as well, li. And I'm going to copy paste it down below so I'm not wasting too much time. This is duration, and this is going to be duration. There we go. And finally, we are going to have the badge. Let's put it there, and I'm going to get rid of this. Let's save that. Let's get rid of it. Awesome. So far, everything is making sense. Now, I would like to create another UL. Let me first close this one right here. I would like to create another UL that is going to signify all the features of this course or this masterclass. I forgot to add a section element. I'm going to add it right now. And let's come down here, and I'm going to close the section element right here. And I'm going to create another section element. And I'm going to close that section element right here. Within this section element, let's have an H2. This H2 is going to say course details, like hand-coded text, hard-coded text. And then we are going to have a UL. Now, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 5 features. I might have 10 features. I might add like 15 features like in the next 6 months. So it's not a good idea to select it like in a not maintainable manner. And what manner would that be? You might be asking. Let me show it to you. And this actually has another example of why template strings are so important. So within the UL, I'm going to create an li. And within the li, let's say I want to jump into the course features. And so I'm grabbing the array. And let's say I want to grab the item that has an index of 0. Let me close this li. Provide the / and grab this UL and close it right here. I'm going to save that. I'm going to append it to the body element. Document dot body dot inner HTML is going to be equal to online course. Let's save that and let's take a look at our HTML. There we go. This is very cool, right? And if I jump into HTML, if I jump into the body, we can see that we got 2 sections. The first section has CSS Layouts Masterclass, UL, all the info that I've provided it. There we go. And the second section, it has an H2, a UL, and an li, which I hard-coded. Keep that in mind. So far, this li is hard-coded. So what about the next one? I have 5 features in this course. I could say, okay, let's grab the second one. Let's grab the third one. And you can see how repetitive and how repetitive this is and how unmaintainable it looks. Now, there has to be a better way, right? And we know that this is an array, and we can use a map method to map and grab all of its features and show it on the screen. We can do that, but how are we going to do it? We're going to do it using the template string. So I'm going to open, I told you, just one expression. Keep that in mind. Within here, we are only allowed 1 expressions. Now I'm going to grab the course features, and I'm going to say map, which is going to map it. You can read more about this. Calls a defined callback function on each element of an array. Keep that in mind. So the map methods condition is that you need to provide a function in it. Or to be more technical, a callback function. Any function that is passed inside another function, it becomes a callback function. So the callback function that I'm going to provide here is going to be an arrow function. That is a good example of where it is more appropriate to use an arrow function. So what do I want to do with this map function? You need to think about these at first, so you know that there is actually a need for the map function or for the map method. I want to map the course features array, and I want to grab all the elements and show them all the elements or items or features, and show every feature within one li. I want to do that. And if you think you can do it, you can just pause the video, or if you're not sure, you can just keep watching and I'm going to show it to you. So I want to grab every feature. Let's put in feature. That's what we want. Let's grab our fat arrow. Now, I would like to have an implicit return. That's why I'm not going to declare, and I'm not going to create a declaration block, and I'm not going to provide the return key, because if you don't do both of them, it's basically an implicit return with arrow functions. We have talked about that. Now in here, I'm going to use another template strings, another pair of backticks. And in here, what is it that I want to create each time I get a feature from the course features? I want to create an li. So let's create it. Li. There we go. Let's close it up right here as well. Now, what is going to be the content of this li? So in the first attempt, I want the content to show the first feature. In the second attempt, the second feature, and so on and so forth. So I don't have to worry about it. If the features get increased, okay, my code is not maintainable. It's not adaptable, but now it is. It is going to become adaptable. Now, keep in mind, we want to grab every individual feature and put it in every individual li. How can I grab every individual feature? Is I can just type in feature. That's it. This is the feature. That's it. Let's save it and let's take a look at it. Voila. There we go. So it doesn't matter how many features there are. I'm going to say feature number, I don't know, like 6. This is number 6. I'm going to add like number 7, number 8, number 9. And when I save it, you can see automatically the map function adds all of them. Now, there is a small issue there. And what is that issue? That issue is the issue of these commas. Now, we need to join these strings together using nothing. Currently, they're joined by a comma, and that is not something that we want. So at the end of this map method, at the end of it, I'm going to say dot join, which is a string method, and I'm going to say join it at nothing. That's it. And when I save it, there we go. Our issue is solved. And now, it doesn't matter if I have 9 features or I have 1,000 features, I'll always be able to use template strings to their full potential. I'm going to get rid of these features because we're not going to need them. There we go. Now you know how you can use template strings with HTML elements and how you can create better markup with JavaScript if you have to. There we go. And you can see all of them are generated dynamically. Very cool stuff. See you in the next video.